Alright, we're back. Sorry for the lack of sound. That's due to being alt-tabbed here. Alright, we're back. Oh, shut that up. There we go. Okay. I'm just pulling out the chats here from the various sites that I stream to. And yeah, okay, that one's fucked up. I just stream for the hell of it, so don't expect a whole lot of good production quality here. Sorry. I unfortunately ate a lot of brake dust yesterday. Working on my car again. Never ending. Oh, fuck. This time there's a, oh, there we, no. Come on. Oh, I swear, Odyssey's gonna kill me. I think I had a chat, someone chatting me up on there the other day. Normally there's no views, and of course on Odyssey, and of course I get one, and yeah, and it's on Odyssey, so okay, I don't know why he's taking so long. If you're having trouble, restart the stream. Bum, 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 we are in, thank you. Alright, let's skip that for now. I will come back there later. Let's shut this down. Sorry. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, now I've got a, probably because I was in there messing around, I've got a bearing that's making noise. So I will be replacing that today. I think it's hard to tell. It's weird. It's really frustrating. It's in my rear. I'm sure it's in the back end, and I think it's yeah, I don't know. I bought a new hub that comes with the bearing, and I'm gonna replace that later today. It's a nice rainy day. But I didn't do anything yesterday playing games wise, well, other than MechWarrior at night with the guys. But yeah, we're getting kind of, as time goes on, it's just we're getting old and we're getting salty with the cheating and the game not working 100% and being tired, you know. So we don't okay, yeah, this pump thing, I forgot about that. Looks like I got it laid out already. Alright. So yeah, nobody wants to see a bunch of grumpy old guys bitching and whining. I hope none of them see that, fuck. And I'm one of them. Bitchy, grouchy old guy. Yeah, so I'm going to spend some time today playing some games, because I spent most half the day in the garage and was out mowing the lawn, which was needed to be done. Because, oops. With all the rain we've been having, it's like every week there's a foot of grass to cut. And yeah, it's humid and stuff. The mosquitoes were kind of okay for a bit, and I thought maybe they'd be okay. They were not. So I had to put on my bug suit because it was just unfucking believable. There's 2 spots in the yard, 2 or 3 now, where there's just, it looks like fucking hundreds of them come flying out at you. Yeah. I'm one of those people, I don't know, it's like cooking a well-cooked steak, throwing a well-cooked steak at somebody on a desert island who's been out there starving, whatever it is, the mosquitoes fucking love the shit out of me. Always have, and I hate them. So I had a bug zapper. I got this, the blue light bug zapper thing hanging out there, and you can just hear that thing. You get the window open, just going, just non-stop, and there's still just fucking thousands of those goddamn fucking mosquitoes. Sorry, I just have such a hate on for mosquitoes. But anyway, wearing my bug suit is like a big mesh thing, right? And you would think, being mesh, that it would allow air to pass through and it would be decent, for airflow. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, with the humidity and stuff, and our mower is, it's a manual push mower. It's not it doesn't have an engine. It's you pushing it, turning the wheels that makes it, this rotor turn. It's called a reel mower. Works good. You gotta do everything twice though, because it doesn't catch grass if it's laying the wrong way. I think it's like a swath or hay buying. I guess you guys wouldn't know what that is either. Let's get those multi-stage pumps. We got 2 of those. But yes, you do it twice. But yeah, it cuts the cuts the grass like scissors would, basically. So 2 pieces of metal coming together, kind of rubbing very closely together. That's how scissors work, right? And it just gives you better cuts for the grass that it cuts. As compared to the type of mower that just has the spinning blade, which is basically just, if it's not sharp enough, it's basically just whacking the grass, almost like a weed eater, the little string that whips around. And you get a more raggedy cut, and apparently your grass can suffer for it. It loses more moisture and stuff. Although, with all this rain, I guess that's not an issue. But I don't have a motorized mower. I've got this. And yes, I can afford one. Yes, I can get one. No, I'm not going to get an electric. I hate those. Stupid. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah. But the reel mower gives me exercise. I drive a desk for my day job. So I do a lot of sitting. So anytime I can get out and get some actual exercise, especially in the summer. Winter I go downstairs and work out, but summer, it's good to get out. Unfortunately, we've had heat, mosquitoes, smoke, rain. It hasn't been a good spring, summer. We're getting outside a whole lot. We had maybe 2 weeks there where it was decent. Yeah, it's not great. But yeah, I'm out there mowing the lawn and I'm just sweating buckets. Fucking come in, it's just like, wow. But the skeeters didn't get me, so fuck you guys, you old bastards. There's a device you can get. It has a little heater in it that you put in there's a little tiny propane tank you shove in its butt, and you put this little pad on the top. It's blue, and when it's done, it changes to white over time, and you can kind of sort of smell it. But whatever it is, the mosquitoes hate it. I remember putting it down outside, and there's a bunch of mosquitoes around. As soon as I came, like the ones just immediately right there, right when I started it up, put it down, they're just milling around, and then they just take off. They're like, whoa, I don't know what it is, but they really, really hate it. All right, where are we going here? I have to bring these up there. Oh yeah, right. This was a long trip because of the way these maps are laid out. Yeah. I have to get, I think it's from this one to this one, so I'm looking at going through here or here, and this was the shorter way to go, through Orvo Hills. Now, which way did I go? Okay, so I can't go up that way because I need to get to that gate up here, and there's no real way across there. So I can come down here and go left here and up and this way. I think this was a little sketch. There's areas here. This truck is tippy, really tippy. But that's a short route. It takes me to this paved road, and then I could either come all the way down here and try going around this way. It's kind of long. And then up this paved road here. Oh, but I can't. This part here is busted out, so you kind of have to come down this way, which, yeah, right. I think the last time I went up this way. Right. I think I flipped over right here. That's why this guy's sitting here. I brought him out to help pull me up, right? Alright, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. This guy's got fuel, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. And then we will go up this way. Probably won't take too long. I always put a little marker by every kind of intersection here, so I know when I come up this way that I need to turn here and go this way. When I come over here, I know I need to go this way, not that way, that kind of thing. Alright, let's give her. So my plan with the Snowrunner here, because I'm one of those people that likes to complete shit, so, oh, give me a half second. I just want to try, oh, there we go. Alright, so I can pop that chat out too. I can pop, there we go. Stupid thing. Alright. Sorry, just laying them out a bit here. So I can see them all. It's funny, the majority of people that chat me are bots, AI bots. Apparently it's a thing. These people set these things up, and they kind of scam you into, like they sell stuff, right? Oh, we sell stuff for streams. Custom emojis and whatever, all that bullshit, title screens, and I guess most of them it is just a scam. They get you in, get you to pay some money, and then they never deliver. But fortunately for them, I'm not into that. I just stream for the fuck of it, and I don't care about having everything all super polished up and fancy dancy. I've got a well-paying day job, and as much as I hate that job, I'm getting close to retirement, so it's not like I'm going to leave it. At least not right away, unfortunately. Be a couple more years. But technically, so I gotta be careful here. These rocks can tip me over. I should go slower, actually. Technically, I've got my numbers as of July this year. I can retire and get my pension. But age-wise, it's better for me to stay in there till next year, at the least. Early next year. And then there's the mortgage, which I've got, I don't know, 3 to 6, depending on how much I can put in there, years left on it. I know, a lot of you don't even have a house, or are looking at that kind of thing. Even retirement is being a way down the road. It's been a really long fucking road to get here. I don't like my employer. I've worked there for pushing 30 years now, Jesus. Long time. Never liked it. Liked it even less during COVID. But, yeah. I'm gonna be to get the hell out of there. The only downside is the money, right? Because, see, now I'm going to start on a bit of a rant. I mean, it is good information to have. Number one, so we in Canada here, we have something called an RRSP, Retirement Savings Fund, and it's tax-free. At least when you're putting the money in, it's tax-free. When you take the money out later, though, that's when they tax you. It kind of blows. And they tax you, like if you take out, the more you take out, the more they tax. It's kind of hard to explain, like it's percentage-wise, they'll take off more. So if I were to take all of my money out, I lose like 2/3 of it to taxes, which is fucking insane. As it is, I've only made like 7 or 8% on the money that I put in there, that I've been putting in for a long time. Like it's so bad. If I were to do it again, I would buy gold and silver. I'd invest in that. No stocks, just gold, silver. It's physical money that you've got. It'll always have its value. Like, so in 1920, let's say you bought, okay, a barrel of gold, a barrel of oil, Jesus, cost the same, give or take, like it's pretty close. Now, if you were to buy it with gold, it costs about the same now as it did in 1920. Now, if you look at that via the money, like the fiat currency that we use, that same barrel of oil has gone up a lot. And that's not because the oil has really changed a lot, it's because the money value has changed. Because they steal the value of the money. And if you want to know how they do that by inflation, which is basically just them printing off money. So money is supposed to represent the work that went into making it, right? Like it should be 1-to-1. You know, you put in a certain amount of effort at whatever job you're at. You get compensated with money that you can then pay for goods and services yourself that was created with work that other people did. It's kind of a, you know, like a 1-to-1. It should be. So you put in a certain amount of work to do whatever you're doing. But you're not growing food, right? You could be spending your time growing some food for yourself, but no, instead you're doing whatever else it is you're doing. So you don't have the time, but you still need food. But the thing is, somebody else put that same work in, making the food, growing it, whatever. So you can pay them, right? So you got compensated for your work. You can now pay that person for the food to compensate them for the work they put into making it. See how it works? And ideally, like if you were to, let's say you dug a hole for somebody in your 20s, right? You're 20 years old, you dig a hole, some guy wants a hole dug in his backyard, I don't know, he's building a pool or something, you get out there and you're digging away, he gives you $100. Okay, great, so that $100 equals, like you would beforehand, or even after, whatever, you would negotiate with them, like how much is this worth, and blah blah blah, your time, your effort, energy, and he pays you. It's $100. $100 to make a pool-sized hole. So let's say you stick that under your pillow. Which way do we go here? I'm going to say it's to the left. Because this looks sketchy, that looks sketchy, and this looks like a much nicer road. So you hang on to that $100 for 20 years. Theoretically, it should still be worth making a hole, digging a pool-sized hole, right? So you're 20 years older, you take your $100, you pay some young guy to dig a hole in your backyard because you don't want to do it or you can't or whatever. And it still costs $100. That's the way it should work. But what ends up happening is now it's $200 or $300 to dig that hole. So what happened to the work that went into making your $100? It's still the same hole. It should still take the same amount of effort. But suddenly your money's not worth as much for some reason. And that's because the bankers and the government have stolen the wealth from you by printing off money that has no work behind it. There's no value in it. And they can say whatever they want about why they do that, but it's basically them getting money out of us. So then you got to say, okay, they print this money off. Who gets to spend this money, right? Because I mean, it's money for nothing. They just, they could have just. It's like taking your printer at home and just printing off some $20 bills. It cost you a little bit for the paper and for the printer and stuff, but you're basically getting $20, or maybe you print off a $100 bill. You know what I mean? You didn't put $100 worth of work into making that. Okay, here I got to be careful because this little swamp here is tippier than it looks. I cannot remember. We're gonna go slow. That's why the big crane is here. Somehow, something made me tip over. Shit, see? What is the deal? Generally, you turn into the tip. There we go, we made it past whatever it was. Last time I just came burning through here, and it doesn't take much. You hit that spot, and suddenly just, boop, you just go over. Okay, so they don't spend the money, right? Because you would think, okay, they printed this money off. Now, how does it get into circulation? Someone has to spend it, right? To buy something. And basically, they're giving money to somebody that has no value for work that does have value, which is lame. But I was thinking, okay, so these bankers are doing this. They're giving it to some friends or something, or somehow it's getting spent. So the way they found around that is they say, well, we lend it out. We're creating work, right? By lending this out to people who need money. The thing is, it's still money for nothing. They're still paying somebody. They're still giving them money that's got no worth to it until, of course, they do their work and add value. So what's in it for the bankers? Interest. They lend that money out that they made for nothing, and then they get people to pay them for it. I mean, it's a huge fucking scam. Nobody knows. And they'll flower it up with all kinds of stupid bullshit financial terms, and even some of the people that work in this shit don't know exactly how some of it works, because it's just a big convoluted, complicated mess. But it's like that on purpose. Oh, there we are. We have to drop it off over here. So there you go. Now you know how inflation works. It's basically just theft. Theft of the money, like that $20, whatever it was, it stays in your pocket. And you think, I've still got my $20. But in the back end, the value of your $20 is disappearing because these assholes are stealing it. And that's what it comes down to. In actuality, let's say there's a certain amount of money, right? Like Bitcoin there. There's a certain amount and no more. None will ever be printed. It just is what it is. What happens there, and this is where they saw this and they want this, they wanted to grab this, but okay, as people do work, more and more wealth is created, right? Whether it's, you're clean, even when you're not getting paid, you're creating wealth when you do work, right? Like when I work on my car, I'm increasing the value of it. Or if you clean your toilet, that's value added right there, right? Someone's gonna want that. If you were selling your house one day and they came in and your bathroom is a total fucking disaster, that's gonna lose you value, right? But because it's clean, or your floors or whatever, like just stupid stuff, right, that you don't even think about, gets you, it's wealth being generated. Cutting the lawn or whatever. But yeah, when you're doing it for somebody else, you get paid. So in that sense, let's say there's a certain amount of money. It's a okay. It's a think of all the money in the world as being all the water in a pitcher of water, a container full of water, and the work that's being done is iced tea mix. And as people do work, they add a little bit of iced tea mix, right? Because that represents the work that's being done. They add that to this big container of water, and over time, right, the water becomes more and more full of iced tea. So for every teaspoon of water, you're getting more iced tea in there, more work, more value. So you would need less of it to buy stuff. So your money in effect would go up in value over time just because of everybody doing work. So they saw this and they thought, well, there's all this, this value in here. How can we get our hands on that? And they came up with this inflation bullshit to steal it from us. That's one way. There's actually other ways they do it too. But yeah, so what they do is when they're printing off the money, it's like they're adding water instead of iced tea to that big pitcher of water, right? They're adding more water that has no value, and it waters down your currency. It steals value from it. It's just like money laundering. Except in their case, it's legal money laundering because, of course, they own the system, right? So they can say whatever they fucking want. But yeah, people need to know this shit, and nobody knows because they don't teach it. They don't want you to know. But yeah, so if I were to go back in time, I would buy gold and silver as my nest egg, as my savings. And then you have the issue where you got to keep that protected and safe, right? Because if someone breaks into your house and steals all your savings, that's not great. That's where the banks used to be a really good thing. And there are organizations that do that. It comes down to trust, right? So they'll store your gold. It does cost you some money to store it and secure it, right? So there's a fee for that. But you're paying for the security and in some sense the ease of use, because they have like basically it's like a credit card or something, debit, I guess, debit card. It's tied into your account, which is all gold, and all the transfers happen in the back end. So this is weird. The last time this factory, normally there's a lot of noise, like bang, 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 clang, clang, that's making the factory. This one didn't make noise the last time either. Weird. Somebody messed up there. So that is the ideal, right? They would have multiple spots around the world, whatever, where they store this gold and it's secured and like major security and all this stuff. And you would have like access to this like you do with the bank right now. Like you'd have your debit card and stuff. And when you make a transaction, they just transfer the gold, like the amount. Like they say, okay, you gave up this amount of gold because to this person over here because of whatever, you bought a service or something from them, and it just gets transferred. But that gold never changes, right? Except for people can add to it, but there's actual work going on. Oops. Stupid piece of shit. Right, I was working towards something that gave me a warehouse. This thing. Power grid. Power grid. Alright, we're doing you next. Beams, fuel, beams. This is a big one. But yeah, you would have everything you need, which is all in the back end. It would exist, and it doesn't change except for it can be added to. But generally, that's work that's being done to mine the gold and smelt it and all that stuff. There's a lot of work that's done at the front, so there is value added when that gold is created and added to the pool. Not like what they do, which is we'll just print off some fucking paper, or even not even that these days. Really, it's all electronic. We just like snap our fingers. There we go. Go into the computer, add $1 billion to the pool. It didn't cost them dick. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, for fuel, well, he can do for fuel. Where does it need to be delivered to? Pipeline Bay, pipeline. Okay, let's see what's in Pipeline Bay. Instead of transferring something across a million maps. Okay. Okay, this is where they want it delivered. Looks like there's one place in here where we can get stuff. Metal beams. Oof, we need a lot of metal beams. I think I'm going to take a machine that has one of those trailers that has 6 spots. That'll be 2 trips each. Do we have... I do not see a trailer. Oh, this blows. Where's the trailer store? There is a trailer store right here. Okay. It's not terrible far away, but it's not great either. So I'd have to come from the garage down here, grab the trailer, and then back up and all the way around. I wonder if it's possible to get across here. Because that kind of looks like a part of a road, but then... yeah, I don't know. That'd be a bit of a shortcut if it works. Need a big vehicle, nice and high, so it doesn't drown out, and that's assuming I can do this, which I'm not sure if I can. Well, we'll grab one of the bigger vehicles. But yeah, I'd just be doing gold and silver. By the way, silver's actually worth more than gold. They don't want you to know that either. That would not be a good vehicle to take. He looks big, but he doesn't do that great. This guy is kind of okay. He's also not... he seems good sometimes. I don't know, he's kind of hit and miss. Some of those guys were that was just like that. Mac defense. This one, I don't know. He's new. Looks kind of low. We might take him. Let's just have this... does this guy have a high? He wasn't actually that great. He's got limited options. His whole front end turns, not just the tires. He's one of those twisty in the middle types, which makes him kind of tippy around turns. And the Tatra kind of does okay. And this guy, the Boar sometimes. I think this one actually wasn't too bad. This guy looks beefy, but he has problems. What is... oh. Alright. I think I need a saddle high. There we go. Perfect. Should I put on the crane? Maybe. What else can we put on that might be... no way. Do we have a smaller fuel tank? Oh. Oh, I can bring all the fuel I need. Can I do that crane as well? No, it removes the... okay. Why did that remove the saddle high? That's weird. Anyway, let's take that. That's crazy. Alright. Alright. I think I know where I'm going here. Well, he sounds nice and beefy too. I like the sound of this one. Dun, 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 dun. Whatever. I was debating going straight through there, but sometimes you don't see everything. It could be a big pain in the ass, and I know this way works, so we'll just do this. Yeah, that would have worked. Whatever. Alright, doesn't have all-wheel drive on. Oh, and just so people know, because I do get this question a lot, for a lot of these things, these games I play. This is a Windows game, and I am playing it on Linux. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Linux is free. There are some paid versions, but I mean they're mostly for businesses, business versions of it and stuff, but they're pretty rare, and even there you can use free. Come on, what the fuck is this? You're a monster, let's go. Am I stuck? Oh. Is that rock fucking me up? Stuck here before by some stupid. Alright. There we go. So yeah, Linux, it's free. Windows isn't. It doesn't spy on you, Windows does. It doesn't have a lot of bloat in it, Windows does. It's open source, which means anybody can see the code, so you know there's nothing hidden in there working against you. Windows does. I know for a fact they've got spyware in there. They're always collecting information, and they're tracking you. There's a new thing came out recently where they caught some hacker, and he was using VPNs and every trick in the book, and they were still able to track him. And it's because Microsoft gave whoever it was, the FBI or whoever, this tracking ID, which is in Windows, and yeah. So no matter what the guy did, he had a unique tag stuck on him, and they could find him. And it's something nobody knew about until that. So again, Windows bad. Their support sucks. It's all outsourced now to like India and Pakistan or something, and it's terrible. Their quality is going into the shitter. They've had updates. What was it, last year or something? They were bricking people's machines with an update. Basically, there were certain hard drives that this one update, for whatever reason, once you had it in there, it destroyed the hard drives. Like, oh my god, it is so bad. So there's so many reasons to get the hell off of Windows, and Linux is getting better and better all the time. and runs Windows programs and is getting easier and easier to do that. Where's the store? It's in here. Yeah, okay, how am I going to do this? Because this fucking thing is going to be huge. Actually, there, we'll just go straight through. I think there's enough room there. That's it. 6. Yeah, I think I can go this way. So yeah, in 2020, I'd been playing with Linux a little bit since 2016 or 17. I had an old laptop I threw it on, because there's a lot of different flavors. They're all kind of based on the same thing, more or less, the base code. And then there's a couple of core versions, like Debian and Arch and stuff. And then others build on top of that. So the one I'm using here, Linux Mint, is built on top of Ubuntu, which is built on top of Debian. And the reason I went with Mint is there's a couple of reasons. One, it's very Windows-like. The other ones have a lot of... It's a little... They're different desktops. And it's kind of like if you saw Windows 8, they're similar-ish, some of them. Actually, some of them are really different. Some of them are very cool, too, like some of these guys. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. But Mint was very Windows-ish in terms of its layout. And somehow I don't think I'm in the right place. Is this? Yes, it is. Yeah. What the hell is going on with this guy? Come on, dude. He's got all the upgrades. Should be like super powerful. And it's a mature version of Linux. So by that I mean, so Debian puts in changes, updates, whatever, and that kind of goes into like a testing / beta thing. You can put it on your machine if you want. Lots of people test it, work out all the bugs if there are any, and all that. And then it goes into their like production version. And when that happens, the Ubuntu guys grab it and make their changes and stuff for their version of Linux. And then that goes into the same kind of thing. It's like in a beta test version for a while. And then they put theirs into production, and then Mint grabs that and does the same thing. They have theirs in a test thing for a bit, and then it goes into production. So by the time you get the production version of Mint, you're a little bit behind on the latest cutting edge changes and stuff. But you have a very stable, very good product with all the bugs worked out, and all the cool shit added in and whatever. So if you're looking for stability, Mint's the way to go. Let's see, downstairs I changed, I've got computers on the TVs, so we don't even watch. We still have cable. We don't watch it very much anymore. At all. So anyway, I got a computer down there, and the in-laws and my wife's parents, what did they do? Oh, right, so they have this machine. It was too old to run Windows 11, and they were being forced to move to Windows 11, right? Because 10 is out of support now or whatever. So I bought them a new machine, and the old one I kept, or they gave it to me. And it's an all AMD machine. It's not like top of the line, but it's not bad. And for that one, I thought, well, I'll use that for downstairs. I've got a little single board computer that I was using down there, but it was having some issues. playing a few video types and stuff. It's just the way the architecture works. So I couldn't do exactly what I wanted with that. So yeah, I thought I'll use this computer. It's a it's a medium case, black, so it fits in well. And I put that down there. But for that one, I put Fedora on it. The thing with Fedora is they're a little closer to the cutting edge, right, of the changes. So I just read recently about a new change. They have the new 7.2 Linux kernel coming out, which drastically increases like processing speed, memory access speed, I/O speed, network speed. In some cases, it was like 130% or something increases. It was anywhere from 5. I can't remember. This guy had a video on it, and all of the enhancements. It's insane. So it's going to be a huge boost to speed. I mean, Linux is already pretty decent. It runs things better. Like these games, you get more bang for your buck playing through Linux because there's not as much overhead. So you get more of your processor power, more of your RAM, things run smoother, less problems. But yeah, with this 7.2 kernel, it's going to make huge changes for speed and efficiency of machines. And I thought, well, this older machine, right, could probably stand to use that. And my understanding was that it had it, but when I got in there, it was on like 7.12 or something, or 1.4, I can't remember. So I had a little ways to get to 7.2. Wait. I need to lay out my path here. I don't want to get fucked up. Okay, yeah, so we followed the paved road all the way. And then we will come down through here. Oh wait, yes, that's right. I'm picking up. Last time I did this, I was fucking not paying attention, and I went to like the drop-off point, and I got there with my empty truck, and I was like, oh man, what a retard. Fuck. Okay. So yeah, 7.2, huge speed boost. I think GPUs as well. So your processor, your graphical processor, it's just going to be big. And so I put Fedora on there, but because they are more on the bleeding edge, they do the same thing too, right? They put it in. It's probably, I could get it if I wanted to. I could do it with Mint even. I could get up to 7.2 kernel. That kernel is like the core of the operating system. But when you do that, you could be buying into some problems too, right? Because it's brand new and things haven't been 100% fleshed out yet. And I think Mint is on 6.8 or 6.9, one of those two. So it's a little ways back, and it'll be like a year or so before it's up to the 7.2. It works fine. Like I'm using it right now. It's fine. And like I said, Linux is already better as far as efficiency compared to Windows. But yeah, the 7.2. So on that machine, I only set it up like, it was this summer I did it, and it's already progressed up to, I think it's 7.18, I believe is what it's at now. So it's getting really close to the 7.2. Like, or was it 7.17? I don't know, but they've been moving fairly quickly. So we'll be on 2 relatively soon here, in a couple of weeks, most likely. And I'm very curious to see if it actually is noticeably faster or not. But from what I read, it looks super impressive. And I mean, it just blows Windows. Windows sucks so bad for being slow. So one example at work, right? I'm setting up the. I'm in charge of handling BitLocker encryption. It's one of the things. So we manage it. There's a database that stores all of the encryption keys. So if something happens in your machine, BitLocker locks the drive. You have to put in this big long key, and the system that I set up stores it. It's called MBAM, Microsoft BitLocker Administration and Monitoring, something like that. But we're going to replace it because we're using this system from VMware, which is now called Omnissa. This system called Workspace ONE. So I came up with this big migration plan and whatever, and I've got to test stuff. I've got all these scripts and things that run. And so I'm grabbing, we have one of every model of computer that's in use where I work, just for this, for troubleshooting and testing and stuff. But so I'm going through. I use the the newer ones because they're at the top of the pile kind of thing, or in the cabinet. And then I would just grab other ones. I'd make changes. I'd find an issue or something isn't quite right, and I'd grab another one and I'd migrate that one across from MBAM to Workspace ONE and whatever. So I get to these older ones from 2022, and they have Windows 10 on them still. And I start them up, and boom, I'm in Windows. Things are snappy, things are fast. It was like, holy shit. I mean, I know when I went to Windows 11, it was painful. Like, it was slower, you could tell right off the bat, but you kind of get used to it, right? It's been months. A lot of months since we went to Windows 11 and at work, and you just kind of don't notice it anymore. You do, but you don't. But to see the comparison, like these two machines I pulled up that were running Windows 10 were so fast, so snappy. Ugh. It's just, yeah, Windows, ugh. They just get worse and worse. And so even at work, we're seriously looking at, and I think we are going to go to some version of Linux instead of Windows 12. So we're on 11 right now, but yeah. And that is going to save us boatloads of money as well. I pretty much got a lot of it figured out, how we're going to run all of our Windows apps on Linux, because we've got a lot of really strange stuff too. There's some really old software, very proprietary for some of the fleet stuff, the big diesel stuff and whatever. But most of it's just your typical Windows apps. But yeah, so when we do that, we'll save on the operating system costs, right? Because Windows costs a lot of money. We won't have to buy those licenses anymore. We lease our machines right now. It's usually 3 or 4 year leases. And that is almost entirely to do with the fact that when newer versions of Windows come out, because even inside of like 10 and 11 there are version upgrades, right? And of course, the new ones, the new versions don't support older hardware. Like my in-laws, right? They had to get a new computer because their old one, Windows 11, wouldn't install on it. I could probably get it to work, but it's a lot of work and it's a pain in the ass, and I'm not there to support things, right? If something goes sideways, and yeah. And I thought about giving them Linux, but they're old, and any kind of change, even this going from 10 to 11, yeah. Try and keep it as minimal as possible. But yeah, so the operating system cost goes away. That's a lot of money. We got about 10 or 15,000 machines. Of course, they're not all running Windows. Some of those are Android and some are Macs, but let's say 10,000 machines running Windows. 10,000 times whatever, a couple $100 each for Windows, that goes away. The fact that we don't need to upgrade machines every 3 or 4 years is going to be huge, huge. I mean, just look at the cost of stuff now because of RAM, right? Or the memory. Not really, just RAM uses memory chips, and so does, you know, the hard drives now, and the video cards, and all that stuff's more expensive because these fucking AI centers eating all the RAM, all the memory. That will go away, at least partially. We could, I mean, I've got old machines. I've got my oldest machine. Well, it's not my oldest. One of my oldest machines is a dual Centrino, which is a a budget version of a Pentium chip that only has a max of 3 gigs of RAM in there. That's the max it'll take, and all this. I got that running the latest version of Linux. Linux Mint in this case. It has to be a 64-bit system though. Well, 32-bit's still supported by some versions of Linux, but they've kind of dropped it for the most part. But yeah, if your motherboard supports 64-bit, which most do, and all newer ones do, but even the older ones, like I've only got, I think, one system here that's 32-bit. It's a Pentium something, can't remember. But I've gotten that thing. But yeah, so this old laptop, latest version, and it's a little laggy, like a little. It's not even that bad. And I mean, compared to Windows 11, it's still faster. I can boot in quicker, I can get using things quicker. It's still better than Windows 11 on a brand new computer. Like, what does that tell you? So, yeah. We won't have to buy new hardware all the time. You know, if it breaks or someone needs the horsepower or something of a newer machine, then we would get a new machine. Other than that, we can keep using our old stuff forever. Almost. Like, it's going to be millions of dollars in savings just moving from Windows to Linux. And like I said, it gets easier all the time for running like Windows apps and things like that. You don't have to jump through as many hoops as you used to. And they're constantly changing and upgrading, making things better. It's just, yeah, so good. Alright, we're here. We're gonna have to back out of here. I'll figure that out in a bit. Alright, stop. I need to turn on the generator. Change trucks. Storehouse. What are we looking for here? Metal beams. Ooh, does he have? No, shit. If he had a crane, I might have been able to double up on the beams. I could take the whole 6. That would have been nice. Damn it. Oh well. 2 trips then. Let's see here. Where are we? Metal beams craft. So it takes 100 fuel to make. There's 1,200 in that generator, and the vehicle the generator is attached to has a fuel tank. So I can fill it up if I need to. That's 3. Let's do the 6. 6 metal beams. Storehouse. There we go. 3. Yeah, so now if I had a crane, I could put some on, I could put one, I think you can load 1 there, and then I could grab it and stack it on top of one of those, and then again with the other 2, same thing, stack them up. And it generally works okay, unless you're going on a really crazy area where you're tipping sideways good or something. I'm gonna try and do a turn here. It's probably a mistake, this guy makes such wide turns. And then I'm probably gonna ride the back end over that crate there that's covered in tar. Oh, and that reminds me. Gotta turn this off. I don't know if it's always the case, but if I once left one running, and the next time I showed up, there was no fuel in it. It seems to just use fuel when you're just building stuff. It doesn't, you know, while you're watching, while you're sitting there, it never goes down. But yeah, I did leave one once, and when I came back, it was empty. So now I just turn them off all the time. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take a lot of time to turn it off and on there. So. Alright, where are we going with this? way over here. It's like it's so tempting to come around here. Have to go down that way. And then see if I can get across, but that's adding a lot of time to my travel if I can't. And I really don't think this looks like a really, I don't know. Oh, I do have a vehicle in the area. You know what? For shits and giggles. Let's grab this. Oops. Fuck off. Sorry, moving my mouse into the other window. Clicking. Let's take this guy. And we'll go see what it's like over there. Is that a place I can cross, or wait a minute. There's a ferry here. So that'll cost me 750, I believe. Oh, alright, fuck that shit. We'll just come up here and we'll just take the ferry. Fuck it. And the area looks a little sketch, but let's try going this way. I don't think the trailer is too long, shouldn't be too bad. Although I am fairly long as well as the trailer being long, so we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, I forgot the trailer also has fuel. I could have fuel forever. That's why I love these trailers with the orange tank there. There's two. There's a three bay one and the 6 bay one. The 6 bay gets a lot of use by me. At least when there's trailer stores that are easily accessible, it does. North Carolina here is a little bit of a pain in the ass as far as trailer store access, but it's better than some of the maps I've been on previous. Gotta be careful. Those guardrails can be really, really good at busting tires off. Sometimes even just tapping them can be a royal pain in the ass. Yeah, that was really tight right there. Shit. Yeah, because the trailer's gonna try and tip me over here. We're good. If you tip far enough too, your load detaches and then slides off. And I don't have a crane on me, so I'd have to go get another vehicle with a crane. And bring it all the way over here and put everything upright and stack it back on and all that good stuff. Sometimes you can drive through these like backyards and stuff, and sometimes you can't. There are little things in the way, like say picnic tables and stuff. Ooh, you know what? I mean, we're here, so let's just gas up. But yeah, sometimes even little things are indestructible objects, and you can't drive over them, and you hit them, you get hung up on them, or they bust off parts of your vehicle, or whatever. So sometimes the shortcuts aren't worth it. I mean, it looked like a good idea, like say these picnic tables here, or these, I guess they're not really picnic tables, but I can almost guarantee those are going to be solid. Let's tap one and see what happens. If it falls over, yeah, interesting. If it doesn't, yeah. It's also good when you're coming up, like I was heading for that light post. You got to brake real early. Some of these vehicles take a while to slow down, and that's weird. I've got one of those trucks on this side and one on the other. I know I have two of those trucks right there, and I just happen to ironically have one here, and on the other side of the ferry is the other one, I think. Oh, no, that was the White Star on the other side. Similar but different. Alright, it's going to save me some time. Let's see what happens. It says this, but sometimes it works. Usually it works. Come on, let me see it, let me see it. Oh, we're good, we're fine. I thought the back end might be hanging off the pier or something. Fucking warnings. Let's take the paved road. How do we get over there? Go this way, this way. On the road, and then wherever. Now these stupid little fences you can generally just run right over. Although, I think if you hit those going at any speed, they also do damage. I think it's been a while since I've hit one going. Yeah, I didn't stop quick enough. Oh, not to worry. That trailer is loaded with repair parts. Yeah, best trailer in the game by far is this one right here. Fuel, lots of fuel, lots of repair parts. Well, it's got 240 liters, which is decent. The smaller one's only got like 150 or something. It's lame, even though the size of the tank is the same. Oh, this guy isn't the fastest dude, is he? Especially the icy maps, I've had these guardrails just you slide into it a bit as you're turning, and then BAM! Your tire, that's it, the tire's gone. These things can bust tires too. But, yeah. It is interesting though that the bigger your tires, like the big puffy tires like these guys, like the balloon tires, the bigger ones you get, the less likely they are to take damage. Alright, what do we got going on here? Yeah, it's not too bad. Just thinking about like clutter and maneuvering wise, it was going to be a big pain in the ass, but yeah, I'm not going to that one. Not yet, anyway. Now, do each of these take one of these beams, or do I drop all of them off here? You know what? We're here. Let's go this way. I just want to have a look down here. Just to see, because we're here. We can get through there, right? Should be able to. What's that? Leather with parts. Let's leave it at that. We'll decide when we get there. Maybe there's a way across. It might be interesting. Oh, can't go through that. Ugh, making that turn's gonna be a bitch too. Maybe not. Got a friend who plays this game too, but we never seem to sync up. Because I'll, be wanting to play something else, maybe like Moria or something, or I'll see him on and he's playing with some other people playing, I don't know, Helldivers or something. Detach. Let's see what we got over here. I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of a guy driving his vehicle across here. It wasn't a good go. His vehicle was underwater with just the top of it showing, but so I've got these two big air things right on either side of the front here, so as long as the water isn't above that, that is kind of where I need to go, I think. I mean, it is, I guess, probably just quicker to go this way. But I am really tempted. Just for the fuck of it. Let's see how deep it is. Can't see the bottom. At night you can usually see it more. Wow, it's pretty shallow. Not very muddy either. Oh, here we go. My guy in the cab. His head's barely above water. Now we're drowning him. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Looks like we're gonna be right below the sucking water in the engine and... Damn it. Although, I wonder if I can maybe get across to this over here. Because that right straight ahead looks like it might be part of a road. Just looking to see if I can see underwater here. Oh shit. Not good, not good. Nah, almost. What if I hook this shorter? Maybe there's a little bridge under the water here between the two pieces of land. Dude just drove by in a truck and it sounds like he's got two metal pans rubbing against each other in his engine or suspension or something. Yeesh. Alright, I think we're just going to give it up. Does not look like we can get across there. I'll do one more check just over here to the low right. That's a big stretch of water and I'm thinking it's going to be a no. I do like that the ground is really nice here. I'm not getting bogged down and stuck, which is fantastic. But I'm really thinking there's no way across here. See some dirt there. Still see the ground. I do not see it anymore. Yeah, fuck it. Alrighty, that blows. Meh, it was worth a look. Sometimes they give you a way across. Yeah. This guy's a pretty tall vehicle already, and he's got these tall air stacks, so I don't know if I've got anything that could get across there. I've had trucks where I've gone almost 100% underwater, and they just had the little snorkel sticking up. But yeah, it's pretty rare. Repair the engine. If you damage it enough, you start to lose horsepower. I don't know if what I had done there lowered it down or not, but I mean, we've got the repair parts right here, so fuck it. Use them. This game, sometimes the shortcuts are really nice, like really nice. It's kind of annoying sometimes because you find them like later, after you've wasted a bunch of time going around areas and stuff, and you find out, oh, you could have just went right through here and it wasn't as bad as it looked. And maybe there's a big swamp or something, or a lake or a field. And other times, the shortcut is definitely not a shortcut. I've had like little areas where you just try and cut through and it's just this insane muddy bog and there's just no getting through. I think the worst, was it the Alaskan map? There's this one warehouse that has this one resource that you can't get anywhere else. And you need it for a couple of missions, and there's like one way in and out, and it goes through this icy little hole, and nothing, almost nothing can get through it without getting stuck. It is a huge, huge pain in the ass. Tons of time required. You need like multiple vehicles, and there's not a lot to winch onto. it sticks out in my mind because it was just such a headache. I think it was the Alaskan map. I'm not 100% sure about that. But oh, I had one of these things here already. Yeah. Oh well. The trailer store's just over here, so it doesn't really matter. Where is the... Okay, straight ahead and to the left. Just if I drive over that repair spot up there, because that's what that is, it'll restock. You know what? I'm going to do it. I can just back up here. Have to have the trailer attached, but it should... Yeah, there you go. Repair supplies restocked. Cutting through. Jeez. Without releasing what? Let's have a look here. Let's find the best way to go. You know what? Let's go up this way. And then back we go. Tempted to drive through there. No, let's just leave it at that. We'll make a decision when we get there. I might try it. What the hell? Let's talk about how he gets hung up on stuff. We'll see. I'll have a look. I mean, I got fuel trucks everywhere. Now it's probably overkill because I've got all this extra fuel, but I don't know what I'm going to be using this thing for in the future, and I'm going to probably be leaving it out here, and it's just good if you're at a fuel station to fill up, whether or not you think you need it, because eventually you will. Some of the hard maps taught me that lesson. Damn it. Watch me hurt a tire here. It's gonna happen. Whoa. Big bouncy balloon tires. So good. That's probably why the few times I've run into these stupid guardrails I haven't damaged anything either. No, I'm just getting careless. I'm bumping into that thing. Okay. Those are always fun. Invisible surprise obstacles. I mean, I've had where you can be traveling down a paved road, no stones or anything in sight, but you're going like a, you know, you're a really fast vehicle and you're zipping along, and then bam! And maybe a couple of bams. Things will just suddenly get damaged. It's like, okay. It's definitely tied to your speed. The faster you go, the more your chances of taking some kind of wheel or suspension damage. But and the type of vehicle and the tires and stuff. And of course the terrain. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes some of the hits are just a little strange. Alright, so we already made 3 we're gonna need. It's always good to make sure it's on your trailer and not there. Nothing's more annoying than coming to one of these warehouses and accidentally putting the cargo on the loading bay instead of in your trailer, and then you don't have a crane to do anything with it. It's like, ugh. Yeah, first up. So yeah, so I bought a new hub with the bearing in it that I've got to put on the rear of the vehicle in real life. And that's going to be a little bit of a job because I got to take the brake caliper off, the rotor, maybe the dust shield. No, I don't think I need to do the dust shield. No. And then I've got my hub slash bearing puller. Pull it off. Hopefully I can get it off without destroying it, although I mean it's probably already fucked because it's brand new hub, but there's something wrong. Making noises. And a lid. The tire on that side is a little slight, like a very slight movement slash wobble to it, which it shouldn't have, and everything points to the bearing being the issue, so kind of annoying. But I mean, they're not super expensive, but expensive enough that it's a pain in the ass. And I'm pretty sure it's that one. I'm just gonna replace it. And if the noise persists, then it must be the other side. Kind of wonder when I was putting it on, because one of the two bearings, or I should just say hubs, went onto the stub axle just real easy. Just slid right on. I've got, you know, bearing grease on there and stuff, or axle grease, whatever the hell it was called. And it just, you know, it's a perfect fit, lined right up. Everything went on great. And then I got to the other side, and the thing is, I don't remember which was which, unfortunately. Should have wrote it down, fucking retard. The other side, I went to do that. I'm gonna try going through here. I don't know. Hopefully I don't get hung up. Wait a minute, what's that road down to the right? It's a bunch of turns. I want to go straight through if I can. The other hub, when I put it on, it did not want to go on. I got it just on the end, like about a millimeter, and it was stuck. It wouldn't go anymore on. It wouldn't come off. I pulled it, and the race came off. You have to look that up. Didn't even take much. Just boop. It was stuck on there, and I had the rest of the hub in my hand. It was like, for fuck's sakes, brand new. What the hell's going on here? Like, but I did get it all back on there. It all just fit back together. It seemed to be good, but maybe it wasn't. So yeah, got a new one. I'll stick that on and we'll see how she goes. Hopefully this one slides on nice and easy. Yeah, let's see. Let's try going this way. See if we can get around there. Hopefully this one, the new one, just slides on, and maybe the one that slid on real easy had the issue. Maybe it slid on good because it had too much tolerance. It was too big, too much diameter. The thing that burns me is these are really, like the stub axles were brand new that these things fit on, and these things were brand new and from the top vendor. Like, I didn't buy cheap shit. This is like the best of the best. So why did one fit perfect and the other one didn't? I don't know. But I mean, how do you prove that too, right? At this point. But whatever. Just get her working. They weren't super expensive. And then my car will be almost perfect. Then I've just got, there's a pulley in the engine. At least that's what it sounds like. Maybe the water pump. Seems, I think that's one that generally goes, a wear item that generally goes before other stuff. I think I should replace the fuel pump, or not the pump, the filter. I remember replacing it. I can't remember when I did it last. The fuel I get's really good though, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But the last couple of times I remember doing it, the filter was fine, but it's still worth doing. But anyway, yeah, there's a pulley in the engine somewhere that when the engine's cold, when I first start it up, there's a kind of noise as it's spinning around, and then it goes away. It doesn't come back until you've shut the car off for a while. And even then, so, but yeah, I'll have to figure out, and that's always fun trying to figure out, because there's a lot of noise in there. It's a diesel. Trying to figure out which one of these pulleys is making the noise. I guess I could bring it in. I've done that before with the dealer. They're generally pretty good. Just to diagnose, because a lot of times they'll diagnose for free at the VW dealership here. Oh, I can't go in there. Cement fucking wall in the way. Shit. Hell, that blows. Sooner or later. Well, I don't know. 3 beams, 4 fuel. I'll drop the other beams off at the other one over there. Actually, I can't make this turn. It's not a big deal. Oh, this one wants the fuel. Okay. That's how they're doing it. So maybe I could get them, because they'll have the little scope dealy-doos that you can stick in and around to. It's kind of like a stethoscope. The doctor has, sort of. I wonder if I can drive straight through there. Probably can. Go this way. And they can figure out which part's making the noise and which part needs to be replaced. And then I'll buy that, because buying, sometimes I can buy better parts. Okay. Yeah, whenever I need to replace a part, I always look to see and get better if that's available. Like when my turbo went, which was due to a dumb fuck up that some assholes did. Not that, I mean, I got a better turbo out of it, so I bought a better turbo, bigger one, and it's way more robust than the one I had in it, the stock one, so it'll last the life of the car. Okay, pipeline bay. I need fuel. Okay, I can get fuel from there. That's doable, though. I get it there and then I have to either go down here or up here. Probably up here. It's right next to a garage too, so I could just grab a vehicle. Although it's 4. Okay. What about down here? Nope, no fuel to be had here. There's a gas station, but they don't have the fuel thing. Alright, so where do I have? I'm gonna grab... Oh, I have 2 vehicles that do... Which one was it? No, it wasn't him. Not him. It's not him. Is it a... No, that's the dam, okay. I'm looking for... There's the twin steer that has 4 on it, this guy, so I could use him. I can bounce him back to the garage. Was it this Fem thing? Yes, I think it was. He takes 4 as well. He's brand new, I got him on this map. He's one of 2 vehicles I found. Yeah, I could try him. Why not? He hasn't had a lot of use. Okay, let's take him to... Is this the right garage? This is the right garage. Let's double check. Make sure he had got the best... A+, yeah, so he's got the best engine. He's probably got the best of everything, okay. He's got the big body on, and yes, okay, so I think he's good to go. I'm just looking to see, is there a quicker way through the forest here, maybe? It's a bigger vehicle. I don't know if he can get around there. Okay, so we would grab the fuel and then head north. Oh yeah, this is a big pain in the ass, isn't it? Maybe not. We'll go up this way. Okay, so let's go down here then. Then we'll head up here, head up here. That's likely to be a sketchy area there. Head up here, here. Across. Down here and to the bay. Turns nice and sharp though. The fucking exhaust in some of these vehicles. There's a couple of trucks that have like the dual stacks sticking up, and they put out a fair amount of smoke. And when you're, you know, doing a view back here, you can't. It's really hard to see anything. Let's try jumping inside. I don't know if I've looked around in here. I see Roman numerals on the. Yeah, it's not a Russian vehicle. I like the sound of diesel engines. They're very upgradable too. When I bought my car, it's a VW Golf diesel. It came stock was 90 horsepower. Can't remember what the torque was. It's quite a bit because it's a diesel. And it got about, I don't know, 60 miles per gallon on the highway and 43, 44 in the city, something like that. And I did a bunch of upgrades on that turbo blue. I changed a bunch of stuff. Bigger fuel injectors. I changed the fuel center in the engine. Turbo, exhaust, system. Wait, stop. Fuck. Damn it. It wouldn't let me out of that, that fucking view. I was trying to do that. Okay. Fuel, and fuel. Let's turn on the beacons with that. So yeah, 90 horsepower to start, and now it's somewhere between 150 and 170 horsepower, and the torque is like insane now. It's gone up a lot. I can't remember. It's like 275 or 375 foot-pounds. It's crazy. And it's more robust now. It's not like I just put shit on it, and because sometimes you put on these upgrades and you can, you know, stress other engine components and break things. But the diesels are built really tough, so yeah, this guy's gonna take a little longer than the other one would have. Whatever. So yeah, he's better than he was stock, and he gets the same fuel mileage. I still get about 59, 60 on the highway, and that's driving fast too, by the way. I don't drive slow. I know one day there I was pulling out of somewhere, and I misjudged how fast. There was an Audi coming down the road that I was pulling into, and he was coming faster than I was thinking he was. Wow. Stupid cabs that makes the camera move around a lot, which kind of barf inducing. So yeah, so I stepped on it, and it just, the tires started spinning. That's burning rubber. And he slowed down, so I mean, because I was watching him as I was going, and I thought, you know, I just let off and let him go. But he slowed. And it wasn't a problem. There wasn't an issue. I didn't have to. It wasn't like he slowed down a lot or something. But you know, there was no threat anymore. So I just kept flooring it. I was spinning out onto the road, smoke and shit. And then later, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Fucking tires aren't cheap. I don't know if that was my winter tires or my summer tires. Winters are more likely to do that because the rubber's softer. But, I mean, you wear them off, right? And you don't want to do that. I like to keep my wheels as long as I can. Or I guess technically the tires, the wheels are like the rims. I've still got the original rims too. I use those for my winters now because I tried the steel rims from winter and they are crap. They last maybe a season before they start rusting. Like then it's just some surface rust, and then by the end of the next season after that, it is. Oh, this guy is just gonna be a giant pain in the ass. As long as he doesn't tip over. Yeah, by the end of the second season, they're just terrible, falling apart. Maybe not falling, well, almost. I don't know. It's just the shit they put on the roads for the ice is so bad for metal. And those steel rims that you see a lot of people buy for winter, they don't last at all. Terrible. But my alloy rims that the car came with are almost in perfect shape. And the car is 25 years old as of June this year. Technically it's an antique. Ugh, fuck. Things that make you feel old. It still looks like new. But yeah, just the last couple of months there's a pulley or something in the engine that needs to be replaced. So I'll be doing that. And this year, yeah, what did I do? Just in the last 6 months, new control arms, tie rods, subframe. I replaced the entire subframe. Brake lines. I got fancy metal brake lines. They're coated and stuff, so they shouldn't have any issues. But my originals are rubber, and the rubber wears out after a while, and you don't want to. You know what? I'm not going to go over that. Fuck that. That just looks like a problem waiting to happen. Let's go this way. The rubber will start to bulge and stuff, and there's a lot of pressure in those brake lines. It could be like, was it 3,000 psi or something? It's something crazy. And the last thing you want is to be trying to brake hard because you need to, and then your brakes give because the line blew somewhere. And you know, the car's old, so I thought I'll get those replaced. And then, of course, I did the calipers and carriers and the pads. And why are we going so slow? I mean, in total, the amount of things I've changed on the car, quite a bit. And I use fancy stuff when I'm washing the car, waxing it. It's a whole 3-day process of washing and polishing and claying and then some more polishing and taking out like scratches and stuff and painting rock chips and then sealing, and now I've added on top of that, I'll add some of that ceramic shit that's new. And then I don't have to do it again for at least a year. And I mean, the water still beads. I did it last year. I used to do it every summer. Then I started doing it every 2 years. But because it just lasts. And when I clean the car, I mean, it looks like a frickin' gem. It's shiny and there's a deep look to it. It looks fantastic. Sometimes when I'm at the dealership, I get the fucking slimy salesman asking me to buy it off me. It's like, no, I'm not fucking selling. The thing gets great mileage. I plan on keeping this forever, which I'm sure my wife doesn't want to hear, but because the new vehicles are just total shit. They've been sketch anyway for a while, but I mean, this year apparently is really bad. The quality is so extremely bad with new vehicles, and I'm not going to buy electric crap. That just puts money in the pockets of those assholes I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. And it's anything but environmentally safe and all this stuff. I mean, anybody who does any kind of looking into it, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. The facts, the actual facts, are way different than what they've been telling us. Those lithium batteries are terrible for the environment, just terrible. Okay, I think I have to down south here. Okay, good. Okay, let's try going this way. It's gonna be a fun drive with this thing, but ooh. I'm tempted to go this way to map this out, but it's called the Old Road, and there's a challenge for it, so it's probably something nasty. So let's not do that. Not with him. Some other vehicle, maybe. Him, it's asking for trouble. Yeah, we'll just mark it there. But yeah, and they're super dangerous. If those things catch on fire, get out and get out fast, because extremely dangerous. They're like bombs. I don't know if you've seen the videos of cell phones exploding and stuff. Same thing, just with a car-sized battery. It's shit. Gasoline is not near as dangerous. You know, the movies, they show cars blowing up and stuff. That's not a thing. I mean, if you get into a really good accident where a lot of your gasoline gets, you know, aerated, like just into the air or something, like it pops that gas tank and there's gasoline everywhere and there's a spark or something, then yeah, you'll have an explosion. And it burns really well too, right? So you get a big leak and it's burning. It'll burn like crazy. Diesel, on the other hand, very difficult to burn. I know when I was a kid, I grew up on a farm. We had these big piles of trees when we were clearing the land. And I remember we were trying to start, we doused part of it with diesel. And I remember I had this box of matches, and I'd be like holding the match up to the wet diesel wood, and nothing would happen, and it would go out, and then I'd try another one, and another one, and another. Diesel does not light on fire very easily at all, and it's super safe as far as that's concerned. I mean, even the way the diesel engine works, so a gasoline engine has spark plugs, and you'll get a little air and aerated gas in there, or well, it sprays the gas in. So you get it's like gas and oxygen, and then there's a spark, and it makes a little explosion. It pushes the piston down. In a diesel, there is no spark plug. There's glow plugs, which is different. It's just it warms up when you first start the car, if it's like really cold or whatever. Glow plugs will these little holes and stuff. Warm up the cylinder, the top of the cylinder there. It makes it a little easier for the ignition to happen. But it's just used when you're first starting the car. It's not used while you're driving or anything. But other than that, yeah, it's just pressure. It sprays in some diesel and oxygen, and then the piston comes up, and it's a very tight fit, where like in a gas engine, it's not as there's not as much compression. This thing really compresses the fuck out of that gas diesel mixture, and then that causes it to explode, which pushes the piston down. You know those big pile drivers you see that when they're building a bridge or something, they're pounding those giant metal posts into the ground? Some of those are diesel. It's basically a diesel engine. It's like a big piston. And what they do is there's a giant hammer right on the top. They raise it up, and then it drops down on top of the big metal post or whatever. And just before it gets there, or as it gets there, you know, they spray diesel in that spot right on top of that post, and then that big metal hammer comes down, you know, hits that and compresses the diesel with the air that was in there just naturally, and then bang, it blows it back up in the air, and then they spray some more diesel in, and the thing comes back down, and bang again. So it's like a giant diesel piston. That's exactly how the diesel engine works, more or less. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that. The diesels also burn much more efficiently than gasoline engines. Like the fuel that gets put into the cylinder, a lot more of it, or all of it, gets burnt up, where in gasoline engines, you don't get as much of the fuel that's in there getting burnt. they've made a lot of headway, and you know, it's a lot better than it used to be, a lot. But yeah, generally diesel engines are way more efficient. It also takes a lot less processing to make diesel because it's basically oil. I was cleaning my tank out once when I was doing the fuel sender. I did that, and I was sucking on the hose to siphon it out, and I got a little bit in my mouth, and it was surprising. It actually tastes good. I didn't eat it. You know, we were talking just a drop or two, but it reminded me of salad oil, literally. If you've ever had oil put on a salad, and you know, some people add salt and oil and whatever. And by the way, stay away from vegetable oils. Really, 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 really bad for you. No vegetables involved, by the way. It's just seed oils from northern climate plants. Sunflower, rapeseed, canola, and stuff like that. Bad, super bad. If you're going to do oils, oils from plants from hot climates are way safer. So avocado, olive, coconut oil, palm oil, that stuff's better by a long shot. Way safer. We're talking, yeah, vegetable oils are extremely, extremely bad. Stay the hell away from anything with vegetable oil in it. Anyway, yeah, diesel tasted surprisingly good. I wouldn't eat it because, not without doing some research first. Maybe it is fine. I don't know, but I wouldn't do it. Gasoline, on the other hand, I've also done that, and it, whoa, tastes like you're eating lead or something. It's, I don't know. Stage completed. What? Oh, coiled tubing semi-trailer. Where's that at? Got delivered there. Is it on this map? That's not blinking, so it's not there. That's blinking. Reactive zone. There it is. Oh, we've got a couple of vehicles here too. What is this thing? Probably takes a saddle high. The Longhorn, the Phoenix. The Twin Steer can't do it, but the Bandit could, I think, if it had a high. I don't think it's got a high. I'm just taking a look. I wouldn't use it anyway, I don't think. Maybe for laughs. Yeah, he's got a flat deck, so he's not set up for it. Let's have a look at, okay, get over here. Let's have a look at him next. That might be a high. He might be able to do it. What else we got here? The tractor. Fuck, I hate that. Yeah, the tractor won't. Dairy Longhorn, I think, can. I don't know if that's a high or a low saddle. I think it's a low. Well, he's got something attached. Let's do this guy. That's annoying. Jumping around. Because there were things in the way. Alright. The only problem with this guy is he does not have an onboard extra fuel supply. So we're going to have to possibly plan that out. Oh wow, we can. He's also a little on the low side, which means that trailer's going to be bottoming out on everything in sight. Where do I need to go? Way up there. Oh, okay, there's a fucking paved road. Well, that's easy mode there for that part of it. So we'll go here, and then we'll try and make that turn. I should be able to do it. Then it's down the road. Down, 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 down. We'll just put a couple of markers along the way. Do we fuel anywhere here? It's a water truck, yeah. Alright. Let's get up here and get some fuel before we run out of it. View. It's got rear steering, which is kind of nice. Good for getting around corners and stuff. They're a little tight. Of course, with this load, I got to take a lot of wide turns anyway. Careful here. This trailer weighs a lot. I think you could just, when I'm turning, keep on pushing my rear end out that way, which would be bad. And these tires aren't great for grip on paved roads. Now that I think about it, does he have... Nope, no suspension. Some of them have a thing you can raise the vehicle up, which with this thing is something I would do if it had it. Wow, sometimes he turns really quick. Let's change something else. So here in Alberta, which is where I live, Alberta, Canada, Canada has rules that allow you to, a province, to leave the country. They brought this in, what did they bring it in for, Quebec or something? Basically, because Quebec and Ontario are the two biggest provinces, and they basically control who the government is, and always have. The other provinces are basically along for the ride. In Alberta's case, we put by far, and I mean by far, hundreds of billions in compared to any other province in the country, and we get nothing back. Like very little. Like they're screwing us massively, and laughing in our faces while they're doing it. It's terrible. It's just bad. So anyway, there's a lot of reasons we want to leave, but that's one of them. But yeah, there's rules in place so that a province can leave. When they put those rules in place, they didn't count on the fact that one day Alberta would want to use that, or the people of Alberta. So now they're scrambling because we needed to get a certain number of, we had to do the petition, and if you get a certain number of signatures on the petition, they're supposed to have a vote, a referendum vote on separating. And they set it at, I think it was 171,000 people need to sign it. Oh great, this is going to be fun. Can I get around that? Is there another way? Well, that road goes up there, I don't want to go that way. So it looks like I'm going to have to try and get around here. Alright. And we got, I don't know what it was, 300 and some thousand votes anyway. And then they brought in this bullshit. First off, our premier said she would hold the referendum on separation, and she doesn't even need the petition to be signed. She can just do it. and she said she was going to do it, and we got 300 and some thousand votes that we needed. Wait, you know, so over double what we needed. Let's pull the front end out here. Oh, now you're gonna go? Oh, this is where that four-wheel steering is really nice. And she went back on her word. So what we're going to have is in October here, which is when we were going to do this, they're having a referendum of sorts. There's going to be 10 questions, and one of them, which was supposed to be the vote of separation, whether or not we want to separate, which that would be it. If we got it, we'd be out. Now it's a vote, or a question on whether or not we want to have a referendum. I mean, the whole point of the petition was that when you get that many, then we put it to a vote, you know, separate or not. And now the question is not whether we're going to separate, but whether we're going to have a referendum. It's just the bullshit that's going on. So there's that. Then there was the federal government via their corrupt, they have these Indian chiefs, corrupt assholes that take money from the government big time. And I mean, their money laundering, it's terrible. Their people on those reserves live in squalor. Well, there's a reserve here that got like $3 billion, I think it was. It was $1 billion plus. And you can drive through there. There's a highway that goes through it. The houses are like, there's holes in the walls. There's nobody around. It's a dump. Where did the fucking money go? People have asked, there's supposed to be some kind of I think that was one where they were going to look into, there's supposed to be an audit. Where's that? Like, the corruption is unbelievable. But yes, they get these Indian chiefs and they're saying, oh, well, we need to be consulted on this first before you can have a petition. A citizen-led petition. It has nothing to do with the government at that point. It's citizen-led. They wanted to be involved, so some judge, even though it's totally illegal, made no sense, said, yeah, she backed that up. So then we had to take that to court, and the Supreme Court ruled in our favor. Yep, the petitions can be counted. But that added months, or weeks anyway, to the whole thing. And then they count them, and they threw out a bunch. We still had way more than we needed, but they threw out a bunch, and people are like, we're looking into that. We're like, well, what the hell? Because we really dotted the I's and T's and stuff. Like they were extremely anal about making sure everything was 100%. We had to get information from people when they were signing, like your address and whatever. Everything they wanted, we did everything perfect. And they still found ones that were wrong. But then we discovered that's not actually the case. They were just super, super, super picky. If you forgot, like, when you did it or something, like, because they were asking these questions, they just kind of did a random sampling. Just little things. If you forgot, it's just something stupid. Like, you could say, yeah, I signed it, but if you forgot the exact date or something, oh, then that's nullified. Your vote doesn't count. Like, it's so scammy. Fucking scammy. So now there's a legal thing about that that people on our side have started because they want some, you know, like where's the accountability? How does this work? We want better view into this process, and things need to be changed, and you know. But it's just one stupid bullshit thing after another. They're just so what it seems to be to me is they're kicking the can down the road, trying to put it off as long as possible. Until they fuck us in some way, or just they're trying to prevent it from happening. They're breaking their own rules. Even if we get the referendum, the question had to be extremely precise, because the government of Canada can come back and say, well, the question wasn't clear enough, which is very ambiguous, right? They can say what's clear and what isn't. them, they who don't want us to go. You know what I mean? But the guys that we did choose a question, and it's the example they gave as in the rules, in the law, the example they gave of a question that is clear. We used it almost word for word, so we've got them there. It's just this fucking shithole games we gotta play with these assholes. And then there's this Forever Canada campaign, which isn't a campaign, or so they say. Okay, this is what I was afraid of. This thing is too low and he's getting caught up on all kinds of junk. Let's go here and there. Maybe if I turn it this way in the back end will... Yeah, okay. So the four-way steering is a blessing and a not. Let's see. Where are we going here? Right. Let's see how far down here we can get. Yeah, there's just so much. I'm thinking it's going to be like Brexit. Those people wanted to leave the European Union. I'm pretty sure the UK is still in there, and they voted twice to leave. And what happened? And what were the consequences? That these politicians that didn't follow through. I mean, nothing. Like, it's just, yeah. I so want to get out of the bullshit, the corruption, and now these new hate speech laws they brought in. This is a good reason to leave by itself, just by itself. So, a politician, right? They don't even need a court. Can say, can have anybody arrested on hate speech and impose fines that include up to life in prison for stating something that you believe. And I've heard, and I don't know if this was a separate law that was supposed to come in or did or was part of this one, but people aren't allowed to talk about it. Right? So if you know somebody that was arrested under this hate speech law and was put in prison for whatever amount of time or fined or whatever, the fines are insane too, you can't talk about it because then you'll get charged with I don't know what. It's like fuck. Stalin would be envious of this shit. It's unbelievable. So basically they can disappear people in Canada if they want to. They can put you behind bars forever with little to no reason, made up bullshit. I mean, whatever they want to say is hate speech is what it comes down to, because they're the ones that decide what's hate speech and what isn't. They don't need a court order. I mean, the cops are starting to do snitch lines and stuff and putting out billboards and things. You know, oh, you see or hear hate speech, you know, report it. And they've already gotten a ton of backlash over this. Ended up one of the police chiefs in Edmonton there was talking about this shit, and there's been a big backlash, but it's just, what the fuck happened? Too many people that have no clue about what's going on and don't want to know, and listen to the news, which is, by the way, paid for by the same assholes that control our government, which, by the way, isn't the people that you elected. They're just puppets. Sometimes they're in on the ground floor with some things, but a lot of the times they're just used. They're not working for us. It's just so, I'm so fucking tired of it. God shit, let's see if we can get around here without. Okay, I was gonna say without pulling it over, but he's sliding around pretty easy. Alright, I mean, this guy isn't having the easiest time with this load, but He's not doing half bad either. This is as tight as this thing turns right now. I've been trying to turn for like a minute. Oh shit. Okay, what did that? Seriously. At least we didn't tip right over. Thought it was going to keep going. That tree will pull us back up. That was it, eh? Just going over that little... At least he hasn't run out of fuel yet. But yeah, that's Canada. Hooray, hooray. I'm going to join the Forever Canada campaign so I can stay in Canada forever. Part of this bullshit. So they can just keep stealing from me and shutting me up. Replacing me with every other person on the planet. Oops. Come on. Yeah, they're gonna make me work for this warehouse. The other stuff wasn't this difficult. Alright, what do we got here? Let's try... Perfect. That's one nice thing about having trailers that are attached like this. They're basically an extension of your vehicle, so you can use them to tow yourself through stuff a little bit easier than some of the other types of trailers. Meaning the ones that use the saddle. You are just determined. Okay, I don't think we're going to fall over. Maybe we will. There we go. Piece of crap. Meh. Yeah, I knew it. Alright. Wait. I don't want my front side being pulled over this way too much. Because I have to make that turn. So I want to see, can I reach this tree? Oh, almost. Okay, that's enough of that. There we go. Just gotta go it wide. Down to 50% fuel. You know what I discovered recently, because somebody posted this on a site that I go on. So percentages and fractions and stuff, right? So if you say, what's 8% of 25? Right, that's a bit of a brain twister, you know, most people can't do in their head. But, and this is a trick someone should have taught in school, because it's huge. 8% of 25 is also the same as 25% of 8. And they're all like that. You can say, what percentage of this is that? And you just reverse it, and it's the exact same number that you end up with. Right? So 25% of 8 is like 2. Come on. because it's a quarter of that. But yeah, if you thought about the other way, like, so it's the same thing, right? 8% of 25 is also 2. And then which one of those is easier to figure out in your head? 25% of 8 or 8% of 25? Like, fuck, I wish I'd known this. It would have made, you know, some of the math class a lot easier. And just life in general sometimes. If, you know, there's things you need to figure out. I saw this guy post this, and I'm like, that can't be. And then you're looking at it, and it's like, holy shit, it is. So yeah, if you're young and in school and stuff, or yeah, well, anybody really, but that's a really good thing to know. If you're looking for a percentage of something of another thing, you can reverse it, and you know the answer is exactly the same. I don't know. I don't think that tree's gonna be able to. Nope. That one will though. The fuck are we stuck on? Huh. Come on. Alright. Gonna be like that, are we? Like even something like, okay, so 100% of 50, right? That's an easy one. 100% of 50 is 100% of it, which is 50. And you can say, what's 50% of 100? It's 50 also. You know what I mean? Like it's wow. I wish I'd known that stuff when I was a lot younger. Especially in school. I mean, that's where you need it the most, right? Get the questions and the exams and stuff. Let's try that. I don't know what that is, but it's probably one of those little bushes. Sometimes they're... Nope, it's a tree. Good. Yeah, I miss the old days when I didn't have to know or worry about all this bullshit. You know, just a kid just doing your thing and buying comics or something, or thinking that, you know, someday... Wait a minute, can I grab onto that tree over there? I can. Come on, you piece of shit. Alright. Oh, thank God, a paved road. Actually make it on this tank of fuel. Take that sign. Fuck you. Alright. See what I mean? Those stupid things. I think that back tire is flat. I'm not sure. Because I turned in the back end because it turns too. Turned into the guardrail and bammo. Didn't take much. Wow, high gear. This guy really doesn't use a lot of fuel. He was down to 3 there for a bit. That's pretty fucking... That's good. He's actually been fairly good on the fuel overall. I guess that makes up for the fact that he can't carry any fuel with him. And I'm glad we came the way we did instead of this old road, because I'm sure that was going to be a lot worse than what we just went through. And we made it. No, hopefully it disappears. Nope. Disconnected though. Okay, what do we have in the area? We'll leave him alone for now. He needs some repairs and fuel, but I could always bounce him back to the garage. Or I could repair and fuel up at this trailer. But where's access? Power lines. Fuck, we still need... Oh, that gives me another warehouse. Cool. Oh, and I have to take another one of these fucking trailers. Is it this one? Oh god, it is too. Oh shit, that is not gonna be a fun drive. Just give me a second here. Just wanna check. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to do that. This. It's been 2.5 hours. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it there and go get some breakfast. It's 10:30. Ow. And then I don't know. I might be back to play some more games, or I might start working on that, replacing that hub on my car, just so I can get it done. I mean, I need to drive to work tomorrow, so I don't want to be up all night if something goes sideways. Yeah, that sucks. Whatever. It is what it is. It's still way cheaper me doing it than bringing it into a shop. Plus, I also know what's been done if I do it myself. Alrighty. I will call it there, and I'll see you guys maybe later today.